Meeting of the Senate Communications and Technology Committee to order. Rob, could you please call the roll?
Almond.
Proxy.
Proxy. Baker.
Proxy.
Proxy. Costa.
Proxy here.
Proxy. Hutchinson. Here. Ivino.
Proxy here.
Here. Carney.
Here.
Here. Pittman. Here. Sanacero.
Here.
Here. Scarnati.
Proxy.
Proxy. Phillips-Hill.
Here.
Here. Stefano. Here.
Thank you. We have established a quorum and we have 3 bills on our agenda today. The 3 bills that we will be considering today are all essential to efforts to deploy high-speed broadband internet throughout the Commonwealth. And today's meeting is the culmination of several public hearings that this committee has held this session on how we close Pennsylvania's digital divide. However, more recently, we have all heard of the many challenges that our constituents have faced and will continue to face with remote working and learning. Please know that this is just the start of a multifaceted approach to closing our Commonwealth's digital divide. Now, more than ever before, when our state and nation are learning and working from home, we must make broadband accessible to all Pennsylvanians. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to the gentleman from Delaware County, Chairman Carney, for additional comments.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. The COVID-19 crisis has really put a magnifying glass over inequities that exist all across the Commonwealth. And there's none more important than the inequity that exists when it comes to broadband service. So we're happy to stand with these bills today. We need to make sure that all our citizens across the Commonwealth have access to broadband, as we know how important it is to kind of making things happen and making things, allowing people to live their lives the way they want to. So thank you very much, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you, Chairman Carney. I would like to first call up Senate Bill 835, sponsored by Senator Langerholtz. Senate Bill 835 is now before the committee. This legislation would create the Broadband Accessibility Funding Program. Senator Langerholtz, would you like to say a few words on your bill?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for running Senate Bill 835. Representing an area that is predominantly rural, I see firsthand the significant, and I say significant, need for reliable broadband service. And this need was highlighted significantly on August 2nd of 2017 when a train derailed in Hindman, Bedford County, which is in rural Bedford County. And emergency and first responders were tasked to the limit by not having reliable broadband service. And this need was further shown and is further apparent in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, in light of education and different school districts within the rural areas that I represent not having the ability to deliver broadband service. This bill will provide dedicated state funding to help those rural areas by establishing a grant program to support the delivery of high-speed broadband to unserved areas, also limiting the funding to entities who have demonstrated the ability to construct and administer such services, and necessitating that 25% of the project costs come from their own funds. Providing dedicated state funding with clear objectives is a step in the right direction, and reliable high-speed internet affords access to more educational opportunities and more high-paying jobs. Again, thank you, Madam Chair, for running this, and also I would indicate that I'm supportive of Amendment A06275, which makes improvements to the bill. I want to thank you and your staff for your assistance in this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Langerholtz. Is there a motion to move the bill? Moved by Senator Hutchinson, seconded by Senator Pittman. There is an amendment, amendment number A06275, which I will offer. This amendment would change who administers and who oversees the grant program from the Department of Community and Economic and Recreational Development to the Commonwealth Financing Authority. This amendment will also repeal the Mobile Telecommunications Broadband Investment Tax Credit. This tax credit is currently capped at $5 million, and the Independent Fiscal Office has concluded that 90% of the incentivized spending would have occurred without the credit. Again, I will move the amendment. Is there a second? Seconded by Senator Pittman. Are there any negative votes on the amendment? Seeing none, hearing none, amendment number A06275 passes by a unanimous vote. Is there any discussion on the bill as amended? Are there any negative votes on the bill as amended? Seeing none, hearing none, Senate Bill 835 is reported as amended by a unanimous vote. Next, I would like to call up Senate Bill 1118, sponsored by Senator Pittman. Senate Bill 1118 is now before the committee. Senator Pittman, would you like to give a few remarks on your bill?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate you calling this legislation up for consideration. Last summer, when you were kind enough to hold a hearing in my district about the broadband challenges we have in rural Pennsylvania, one of the more telling items that came from that was that it's not always just about more money to fix the problem. A lot of it is about barriers to entry into the market. And this legislation is designed to make it easier for our co-ops, particularly those that serve rural Pennsylvania, to use existing utility poles and existing infrastructure to expand broadband services throughout their customer base. So I appreciate your work on this. There is an amendment, I believe you'd like me to offer, A06292, which would mirror what has passed the House. It would be identical to the House language. The House passed this legislation unanimously, I believe, last week, and it would be a mirror to that effort. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator Pittman. Is there a motion to move the bill? Senator Hutchinson, do we have a second? Seconded by Senator Carney. There's an amendment sponsored by Senator Pittman, amendment number A06292. Senator Pittman, I think you've already explained what the amendment does. I will move the amendment, seconded by Senator Pittman. Are there any negative votes on the amendment? Seeing none, hearing none, amendment number A06292 passes by a unanimous vote. Is there any discussion on the bill as amended?
Madam Chair, I would like to note that I've been working collaboratively with our colleague Senator Brooks on this legislation. She reached out to me whenever we introduced it, and she asked if she could be part of prime sponsoring that. So I'm pleased to have her support in building this legislation as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator Pittman. So noted. Are there any negative votes on the bill as amended? Seeing none, hearing none, Senate Bill 1118 is reported as amended by a unanimous vote. And lastly, I would like to call up House Bill 2438, sponsored by Representative Owlett. House Bill 2438 is the House companion to Senate Bill 1118, as we just amended. Senator Pittman's explanation of the bill and the amendment sufficiently explains the House bill before us. I will move the bill. Is there a second on the bill? Moved, seconded by Senator Hutchinson. Is there any discussion on the bill? Are there any negative votes on the bill? Hearing none, seeing none, House Bill 2438 is reported as committed. I want to thank everyone, and I now recess the Senate Communications and Technology Committee to the call of the chair.